Hello and welcome to the World Electrolysis North America 2025 pre-event interview series. I'm joined here by RB Balaji, Chief Industry Officer, Global Manufacturing at the International Finance Corporation. Welcome, RB.
Thank you, Juan. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So just to start off, would you be okay just giving our audience some insight into your background, some of the work you've done at IFC and yeah, what brought you into the hydrogen space?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. So in IFC is the private sector investment arm of the World Bank Group, and we work with companies in emerging markets to promote the development of various economic activities. As One Bank Group, we are focused on delivering economic development and jobs creation while we address the global challenges such as food security, energy access, etc., in a sustainable manner. And one set of our activities is promoting production of chemicals and fertilizers for responsible use of them. And my role is as the industry expert coming from 22 years of work in the chemicals industry to help understand the business opportunity, the risk reward scenarios, and advise our investment teams on the investment proposals that come in front of us.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you seem like you've got background in the chemical fertilizer industries and
Mhm.
now obviously a subsection of hydrogen.
Yeah.
What are your views on the hydrogen market, obviously working with different partners from around the globe?
Right. So, we have always been engaged in the hydrogen space, right? In the past, it's through production from sources such as natural gas, because hydrogen is a critical raw material for the production of numerous chemicals, particularly nitrogenous fertilizers. So, IFC has always been engaged in this space. And when, we also look at technical developments that happen in the field in order to improve the outcomes from our investments, right? And when green hydrogen came into our view about 5, 6 years ago, we took a robust look at it and we brainstormed, how we should be employing green hydrogen in our projects. And we realized that there are many developing markets that do not have their own fossil fuel resources, but they have renewable energy resources. These markets are dependent on imported fertilizers, which as a result of the global shipping, inventory, working capital costs, all of this, the landed costs are very high for these countries. We realize that if we are able to enable at a scale that is necessary for each country, the production of fertilizers in those markets, then we can not only advance economic development, we can also provide local resilience, the capability for the farmers to have instant access to fertilizers, etc. So that was, probably the most significant, realization that we had in our discussion on how can we, potentially employ green hydrogen in our investments while, meeting our objectives. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
And working with these different economies,
Mhm.
what have been the challenges that you've seen, in the work that you've done, and what, in your
Yeah,
opinion, do you think that we have as solutions to these challenges?
yeah, right. So, we have, gone through and prepared a presentation that's available on our website, that lists, in depth, various challenges, but I will highlight two here, right? So the first one is the viability gap. So the production of fertilizers or other products through the use of green hydrogen versus gray hydrogen today is still more expensive. And the second challenge is that there is not sufficient demand that has emerged simply because of this cost imbalance between green and gray products. And we are working on solving these challenges as well as the other challenges. One example I can give you is that as one World Bank group with the World Bank, that works with governments and public sector partners, and IFC that works with private sector companies, and MIGA that guarantees multilateral investments. We are trying to build the necessary financing structure and environment by bringing in other multilateral partners, other development finance institutions, as well as donor funding, such as the Green Climate Fund and Innovation Fund, etc., in order to bridge the viability gap for these projects and enable them to produce, fertilizers in a more sustainable manner.
Okay, thank you. And sort of a curveball, so to say, but is there any
Yeah.
sort of accomplishments you've got from this work so far? Is there anything you're
Yeah.
particularly really proud of?
Mhm. Yeah, certainly. So we have, because we work mainly with private sector, we can't name names. There are some names that are out in the market because the companies have chosen to publicize, and people can find it on, LinkedIn, for example. But what I will say is that we have about a dozen different engagements with different companies, and this, spans about, 8 or 9 countries. So some of the main markets where we are engaged are in India, for example, where the need is obvious. India doesn't have sufficient fossil fuels, but has a huge market for fertilizers and has significant renewable energy potential, right? So in India, we have several engagements where we are helping advance the development of these projects. Brazil and Latin America in general are another key markets of interest for us, because several markets in Latin America, they have excess renewable energy, hydroelectric energy that's available. The grid is already almost all green, and those markets also consume a lot of fertilizer, and today they are import dependent. So looking at countries like this, as well as there are countries in Africa such as Egypt and Kenya and Namibia, South Africa, Mauritania, that have significant renewable energy potential, don't have appreciable fossil fuel resources. So we have engagement in all of these countries. In some of them they are investment level engagements, in some of them they are what we call pre-investment level activities in order to help develop the project in robust way to lead them to financial bankability.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, we've worked with some of those markets previously at S&P or World Hydrogen Leaders before, so there's definitely some movement going there. So yeah,
Hmm.
brilliant. Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Got it. Great.
And so finally, so
Yeah.
obviously you're attending speaking at World Electrolysis North America. What are you
Yeah.
looking forward to the most about the conference?
Right. So far in this interview, we have talked only about green hydrogen, but I'm going to focus on electrolysis, right? So as a chemical engineer who has a PhD in chemical engineering and has spent 30 plus years in the industry, I firmly believe that electrochemistry is one of the more sustainable pathways for the future of the chemicals industry, for how we produce the critical materials we need for everyday life, right? So in the electrolysis conference, of course, I'm interested in learning more about what various companies and developers are doing with respect to green hydrogen, but I'm also interested in understanding what are the developments in electrolysis itself, and what are the other chemicals and chemical processes that are conventionally less sustainable that we can work to replace with more sustainable renewable energy powered electrolysis solutions. So I'm very eager to learn more about that and network with attendees.
Brilliant. Thank you. And yeah, hopefully we can provide that for you with all our speakers distinguished from across the market. So thank you
Right.
so much.
I do see a very interesting line of speakers, so I'm looking forward to the conference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's all the questions from my side. So I want to thank you again for taking the time to speak with me. For those of you in the audience looking to meet with RB at World Electrolysis North America, if you want to find out more information, please visit our website. The conference will be taking place in Chicago from September 22nd to 24th. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you again, RB. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you, Juan.
Thank you.